Walker. Today, as the title suggests, we are going to be talking about the divides between us, specifically the digital divides between us. Now, I know what you're thinking, Lewis, what is a digital divide? Well, Katie E. Pierce and Ronald E. Rice report that a digital divide is a gap between people, organizations, social groups, geopolitical entities in their communication technology awareness, adoption, ownership, skill, and or use. To put it in simpler terms, this means that a digital divide is a gap between a gap in digital media usage and knowledge, often for a variety of reasons. To expand on this further, I'm going to be focusing on social media as my example of digital media and the age demographic of said social media users to demonstrate and outline the digital divide that exists on these platforms. I've chosen social media as this is arguably the biggest form of digital media engagement in the world, as well as having the largest number of users to work with. Social media has approximately 2.82 billion active users as of August 2019 this year. So let's begin. When you think of social media, one of, if not the first platform you'll think of is Facebook. With 2.41 billion monthly active users as of April 2019, it's no surprise that Facebook leads the world as the largest platform, followed closely then by YouTube and then by Instagram. However, when you group these users into their respective age groups, some interesting trends start to appear. At first glance, it's easy to see that there is a slight inclination towards the number of male users as opposed to female, with a 57 to 43 male to female ratio. However, when you then compare this to the likes of Instagram, the opposite is true, with a 52.1 to 47.9 female to male ratio. Now, given the small margins either way of the 50-50 split, this is most likely due simply to personal taste. However, other variables can be a factor. More than this though, when you compare the two graphs, a correlation seems to appear. This particular correlation is a more well-known and older digital divide. When you compare the statistics of both Facebook and Instagram, you'll start to notice that the vast majority of their users are under the age of 35. With Facebook, this accounts for 63.9% of its users and Instagram 71.2%. In addition to this, as the age of the users consequently goes up, the number of users consequently goes down. So what is causing this divide between over and under 35-year-olds? What with the surge and evolution of technology within the last 20 years, it is to be expected that having to learn and maintain the level of skill required to navigate all this new media can at times be confusing, overwhelming, and ultimately lead people to become discouraged and move away from it. Amelia Wim and Professor Kritzinger report that the lack of ICT skill and experience are some of the underlying factors that have led to a widened digital divide, with some scholars maintaining that the lack of ICT skill play a major role in actually bridging the digital gap. This may very well explain the difference between the under and over 35-year-olds. With the under 35-year-olds having grown up consuming this technology, they would have passively developed all of these digital literacy skills, as opposed to the over 35-year-olds who would have in fact had to make a conscious decision to develop and maintain this level of digital literacy. But digital literacy itself isn't the only reason for digital divides. An argument could be made that a new divide is indicated within the 13 to 17 age demographic. This age demographic actually consists of users that will have also grown up developing these skills. However, they actually only account for approximately 6% of both Facebook and Instagram's user base. This argument actually gains traction when you compare that to the likes of Snapchat, who actually boast a 90% user base between the ages of 13 and 24. But is this just the way it is? Is there always going to be a digital divide between generations and gender? And in all likelihood, the answer is yes. It's extremely rare that you'll find a piece of digital media that will actually be able to close the divides between us. But it's not impossible. There is at least one example of media that I can recall that did in fact achieve this. I am of course talking about the Ice Bucket Challenge. For those of you living under a rock, the Ice Bucket Challenge is an event that happened in 2014 and it lit up the internet like wildfire, pulling in and connecting people such as celebrities, business people, parents, grandparents, children, varieties of people from all ages and walks of life. So why was the Ice Bucket Challenge so successful and how can we apply this to digital divides? Well, the reason it was so successful was because it was simple, it was silly, it was fun. You grab a camera, you grab a bucket of water, you pour it over yourself and you nominate someone to do the same. More than this, it was backed by a good message. So going forward, if you want a more even distribution of demographics, You have to develop their digital literacy skills, but do it in an appealing way. Because like learning anything, if you keep it simple and you keep it fun, the engagement will come. And in my opinion, if you can do this, you'll find that the digital gaps very quickly begin to close, as well as the digital divides between us. But with that in mind, but if I've learned anything from this course, it's learn by doing. So I challenge you watching this video right now to grab a friend, family member, or colleague and make some form of collaborative digital media. The only conditions: keep it short, keep it simple, keep it fun. A link to my Twitter will be in the description below. I'd love you to tweet at me and let me know what you guys come up with. With that said, be kind to each other, help each other where possible. I've been Lewis Walker. This has been My 2 Cents.